I do not want to get to 80 years old, look back on my life and think, hold on, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that?
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Sarah Williams. Previously, episode 421 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been 2 years, 8 months, 10 days, 20 hours, and 45 minutes since we last spoke.
It can take time to achieve your goals, and that's why you need to be patient and you need to be persistent and you need to keep on going after it. And actually, if you keep making progress every single day, you will get there.
That was then. This is now. Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm very well. I can't believe it's been 2 years, though. That's absolutely crazy. So much has happened since then for you and me.
I can well imagine. When we did speak, you were doing so many things. It felt transformational. It was inspirational, definitely motivational. What's new? What's going on?
What's new? What's going on? Well, I suppose recently I headed off on a big cycle trip. So I flew over to Vancouver in Canada, found a secondhand bike and cycled down the Pacific Coast Highway, and then headed across the border into Mexico and headed down to Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. So that was a journey of over 4,000 kilometers. I then flew to Australia. I then spent time in India becoming a yoga teacher. I then came back from India, got back to the UK and became a qualified personal trainer. And I also forgot to say I completed my master's in women and gender studies. So I handed that in August 2018. So yeah, a lot has been happening. Completed my master's, big cycle trip, qualified yoga teacher, qualified personal trainer. Whew.
Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you.
I think you're the first person that I've had as a repeat guest who has answered that question that way.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if anyone else has done some of this stuff.
I'll definitely introduce you to anyone who does. Wow, that is amazing. Wow. So, all right. So, how has it been?
It's been good. It's been intense. Like, I was actually reading back over some of my blog posts that I did from last year, because I did post with 3 months to go before my big challenge. What have I got on my to-do list? What have I got to get done? I don't know how I did it. Like, I had, studying for my master's, running the Tough Girl podcast, doing all the interviews, having to preload content for while I was away traveling. It's just been busy. I was also actually working like 2 part-time jobs at the same time. So it was intense, but it's only now looking back, I think, wow, do you know what? I had these goals, I had these ambitions of what I wanted to do, and I put them in place and I made things happen. I took massive action to get there, to get it achieved. So it's almost quite nice now taking it a little bit easier and just starting to really think, hold on, what do I need to do now? And maybe take some time off.
When did this occur, this ignition?
Well, I've been going really. So I quit my job in 2013. And then ever since then, it's pretty much been non-stop. So I started Tough Girl Challenges in 2014, which was a blog, which nobody read. And then in 2015, I started the Tough Girl podcast. That's now listened to in 174 countries around the world. There's over 200 interviews. It won a national award in the UK last year. It's up to 800,000 downloads. And then as part of me launching Tough Girl Challenges, I wanted to get out there and do these big physical challenges as well. So I started by doing the Marathon des Sahara, which was running 6 marathons in 6 days across the Sahara deserts. That was in 2016. And then it's just sort of progressed there, really. So every year I've done a big physical challenge. In 2017, I through hiked the Appalachian Trail solo and unsupported. So that's 2,190 miles in 100 days, which I also daily vlogged. And then after coming back from that, it was onto my master's. And then 2018, it was, the big cycle ride. And 2019, it's just been, going to India, get my yoga qualification and get my personal training qualification. So there's been a whole variety of different things that I've done, which I now feel as though they're all sort of starting to come together and in a really, really nice way. I'm still not where I want to get to in terms of my business and in terms of the different challenges that I want to do, but I'm definitely on the right path, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you had a conversation with death?
Have I had a conversation with death? Not personally, but I do think about the fact that we have one life and we've got to live it. I also know how privileged I am to be strong, fit and healthy, to be able to get out and to do that. I also know how privileged I am that, at the moment I live at home with my parents. So I'm able to build my business up on the side. I recognize my privilege, but I also recognize the opportunities out there. and it is about taking advantage of them. It's about going for it. It's about saying yes. It's about facing that fear and thinking, do you know what? I do not want to get to 80 years old, look back on my life and think, hold on, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? And I think that's probably the conversations that I've been having with myself.
Which are daily conversations. Everything that you've spoken about over years have occurred, and as huge as they are, you still needed to go through every single day, one day at a time. What does the day look like, the day journey?
Do you know what? That's such a great question, because I think that's the thing that people don't really understand, especially when you share your life on social media as well. I mean, just a great example of that would be like the Appalachian Trail, so this 2,190-mile walk, and I vlog that every single day for YouTube. And it's amazing. You're maybe sharing like 8 or 10 minutes of your day, but that's not the true reality of actually walking for 12 hours a day, nonstop, carrying a heavy backpack. And to be honest, it's consistency, and it's doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do every single day. Like, I don't necessarily want to go on social media every day. I don't want to, hit the gym every day. I don't want to be eating what I eat every single day. But it is the consistency. It's building up the right habits, and it's doing it when you don't feel like doing it. And sometimes you've just got to force yourself and think of the bigger picture. So daily for me, it is actually about having good routines. It's about having that goal and me being very, very clear about what it is that I need to do to achieve that goal and how I'm going to get to that place. So that's for me is writing to-do lists. It is being organized. It is being efficient. I am busy, but I am also productive. I'm very conscious that it's not a case of just being busy all the time. It's actually about being productive and doing what you need to do to get it done.
The balance is important, which brings us to the mental agility. How do you do that? Train the mental.
I think I've been doing that for such a long time. Like, even when I was like 18, 19 and getting into my first job, I started reading like self-help books like Tony Robbins and The Slight Edge. And I definitely started to use like visualization and planning. And then the more things you do, so whether it's your first 5K race, your first half marathon, your first marathon, you start building up the tips and tricks and the mental resilience and the mental grit that you need. And then the more challenges that you do, the more you realize that it is actually mental. So people look at these big physical challenges I've undertaken, like the Appalachian Trail or like the Pacific Coast Highway, but actually it comes down to the mindset. I do believe in having a positive mindset. I do believe in reframing. I believe in visualization. I believe in basically doing what I can to make the best of any situation. I do think things happen for a reason, and it's trying to find that positive, which isn't always easy.
What's really intriguing as well, you shared in your earliest childhood memory, you just like accelerating at the crossroads and bumping into things. And I think it's a very amazing, fascinating, connected metaphor of what you've done successfully. Oh, yeah, definitely successfully, because I think success is built on the foundation of what people call failures. And you accelerate. When people say, all right, I think I'm going to just touch on the brake pedal here, you press the gas pedal. And I think that is something that's critical to success. Would you agree?
I do. And I think it also does depend on your definition of success, which is something that I have really struggled with. So, previously it was money, it was status. Those were what I thought was successful. Whereas now I've come to realize it's my health, it's my freedom, I'm following my passions. And for me, I mean, I know some people will look at me and think, oh, she's not very successful. She's living with her parents, doesn't have two pennies to rub together. But actually, I look at my life and it's like, well, I am so happy and I'm so lucky to be doing what I'm doing. And when I say luck, I mean hard work has gone into it over the past 5 years to get me to the point where I can go traveling for 7 months at a time. So I think it is all about figuring out what your definition of success is, and then not worrying what other people think of you, and just think, you know what, I'm super happy. I'm living my best life. I'm doing what I want to do. I am totally winning. And that's my definition of my success.
Well, my friend, I want to say congratulations. I want to say I'm proud of you, and I want to say thank you for being true to your own unique real self, because it gives me energy just hearing as your podcast accountability partner here, checking in 2 years, 8 months, 10 days, 20 hours, and a couple of minutes more now that you are doing what is core to who you are. It is inspiring, as I said before. So thank you for that. My friend, in closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, just to say thank you so much for checking in. And to be honest, I can't believe everything that I have done. But if people do want to learn more about me, then please do go check out toughgirlchallenges.com. There's more information about the different challenges, the Tough Girl podcast, the Tough Girl blog. There's various books which have been written. But also, finally, just to say, make sure that you're living your life on your terms. You are the only person that you have to focus on. It's about you. So be selfish, enjoy your life. You only have one of them. So make it work.
Sarah, a pleasure. I treasure. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.